Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who all learned this truth from here to well. Peace and salutations to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. Unto you I say Shalom. Coming to you back on another lesson through the Spirit, and I'm entitled this one, Rising Gas Prices is Only the Beginning. Because what these people are complaining about, gas prices being $4, $5, $6, even $7 in some places, maybe their groceries, their produce, vegetables, fruit, eggs, their meats, chicken, beef, it went up a couple cents, a couple dollars. But what these people don't understand is that they really haven't seen nothing yet. That this is only the beginning stages of a society that people aren't going to recognize. It's going to be a dystopian society where all this quote-unquote abundance of food, water, convenience, entertainment, it's all about to be taken away, by Esau, Edom, which is a self-proclaimed white man, but ultimately is going to be taken by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Because these Americans, these Babylonians, they're so accustomed to having everything at the tip of their fingers that they don't really consider that something like a famine, a blackout, all hell breaking loose can happen over here in the souls of America. Because over here is known as the city that dwells without care. The city of unwalled, or the village, or the city of unwalled villages, roughly paraphrased, like you said. So we're only at the beginning stages of the great collapse, the great reset. Because of these gas prices going up, what these people don't understand that is leading to hyperinflation. If there's no oil, gas, fertilizer being processed and then distributed among these different countries, that means that the trucks, the 18-wheelers, the trailers that deliver to these grocery stores, these retail stores, they're not going to get their goods. They're not going to get the groceries. It's going to lead to empty shelves, no water. And then you got these power plants, these plants that clean up the water, from the sewage. They're not going to run as well. And if nobody's getting that same amount of gas and petroleum that people are used to getting to be able to function in society, cars ain't gonna have gas because it's gonna be $20, $30, $40 a gallon. People aren't gonna pay that, and that's gonna lead to all hell breaking loose. People are bugging out right now. Wait till hyperinflation hits, till gas is $50 a gallon, eggs $200, and people aren't gonna pay that. And that's why they're gonna be like, the hell with this shit, and they're gonna revolt against their government. They're gonna take matters into their own hands, and they're just gonna go hunting for these governors, these so-called leaders. Then they're gonna go from house to house looking for goods, because there's not gonna be any goods in the grocery stores. This is Luke 23:31, and it reads, "For if they do these things in a green tree, what shall be done in a dry?" So if they're bugging out right now, while you're still able to go to work, still able to drive by McDonald's at 3 in the morning and get you a Big Mac, still able to put on Netflix and watch the NFL, the NBA playoffs, people are bugging out right now because they're feeling that squeeze that Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, is putting upon these people. But they still haven't really felt that full effect, because they were able to keep gas prices down for a couple weeks, keep it under keep it under, $4. But now that's being done away with. And it's only going to ramp up more and more for these Babylonians, these Americans, for that MOTB, that Charagma, the RFID micro chip, which is going to be the quote-unquote solution of Esau, Edom, to make everything quote-unquote normal, which we know things are never going to go back to normal, but this is going to be Esau, Edom's way of showing the people, telling the people, hey, you want your job back, you want your stock market portfolio back, you want your gold and silver to be worth something. You got to transfer it over to this MOTB system, to this CBDC. You just got to take this RFID microchip, and that's the times we're coming into. So all these people that are bugging out because of gas being $5, they're going to completely lose their mind when they lose their jobs, when they don't have no food in the pantry, when they don't have any running water, any electricity. And that's when it's going to lead to Jacob's trouble, all hell breaking loose, martial law being implemented. This is 2nd Esdras 15 and 14, and it reads, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. So this is what's coming to the world, is destruction, death, gloom. It ain't no peace and safety. Like Yahushua said, he said, think not that I ain't come to send peace upon the earth. Came to send a sword, and that's what's coming upon the planet Earth. And it's already at the beginning stages. People are divided amongst themselves. People are trying to, make ends meet, but they're not able to. So what are they going to resort to? They're going to resort to stealing, robbing, raping, because there's not going to be any jobs. There's not going to be any food in a grocery store. So what are people going to do? They're going to go from house to house, looting, stealing. This is verse 15. It says, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another. Going into that civil war, that race war. It says, and swords in their hands, which is, the modern day sword is the gun. And that's the times we're coming into. It's going to be like in the Purge, that movie Civil War. Verse 16, it says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princesses, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So these people aren't going to care about no law enforcement, no police. And that's why they're going to have to bring in that martial law, that military force, to put these people, these Americans, back in quote unquote order, which we know that's not going to happen. Eventually it's going to be, these militia groups here in the U.S. and America versus these martial law, these UN troops, these foreign troops that hate these Americans, and then ultimately these people are going to pretty much be in that mindset of survival of the fittest. It ain't going to be that's an old man, that's a woman, that's a child. Let me not take him out. No, in that day, like I said in Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 4, those angels, those death angels, they're not going to spare in that day, regardless of age, how these people feel. No, man, Yahweh Shemel Shari has judgment set upon whoever, that those spirits are coming back. Verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. And we're at the beginning stages of travel being shut down. You had Spirit Airlines just shut down overnight. Now you got Delta talking about their next. What this is leading to is all these airlines being shut down. And if airlines aren't running, that means people aren't going to be able to fly. That's going to lead to a lot of people who rely, on traveling for their careers, their jobs. They're going to lose their jobs and their careers if these airlines aren't flying, because the lack of gas and oil and, jet fuel. And people are bugging out right now because they can't go on vacation because their flight got canceled. They can't go here to travel with their family, their 25th anniversary family gathering. And on top of that, you're gonna have the checkpoints as well, where if you don't have that MOTB, that RFID microchip, you won't be able to access that city. Just like in the time of 2020, you had the digital C19 pass, the card that verified that you took the jump shot. That's the times we're coming into. This is verse 18. It says, "For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid." And that's why this is going to happen, because these Americans, these Babylonians, they're prideful as all hell. You can't tell them shit. Here, all hell is breaking loose. We're at the beginning stages of World War III. You got the prophets of Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai warning our people, the 2/3, Israelites. But what are they doing? So-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, they're playing games. They're planning their next vacation on Spirit Airlines. They don't even know that Spirit Airlines shut down already, but yet here they still got their tickets thinking that they're going to go on vacation. And that's why the Lord is going to bring that great judgment, because these people in the world, these Americans, they're comfortable as all hell. They think that nothing's ever going to come here in the souls of America, that whatever's going on around the world, that is just going to stay on that side of the world. But the Lord is fattening these people up for when he finally brings that great judgment. It's going to be a sweet savor, until Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai, when he shoots those ICBMs over here to the souls of America. Verse 19, "A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but he shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods. For the remnant and the elect in that day, while the rest of these people, they're going to be asked out, no covering, no protection. And then at that day, that's when they're going to want to be calling upon the Lord, the wicked of our people, but they're not going to get an answer." This is 2nd Ezra 16 and 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days?" And this is Ezra, speaking, and he's a man of the Lord. He's an elect member, but yet even him seeing these visions, he's terrified of how bad it's gonna get. To the point that he got sick. He was throwing up because of the visions that he was seeing. But yet even him is describing how bad it's gonna be. It's gonna get nasty out here. Verse 18, "The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come?" And we're only at the beginning stages of this. The beginning of sorrows, great mournings, famine, death. We're at that beginning stages of World War III, like it says in Matthew chapter 24. Wars and rumors of wars. So the end is not here yet, but it is right around the corner. The mass implementation of the MOTB, which is the RFID microchip. You got all hell getting ready to break loose, the collapse of the economy, the collapse of the dollar. But yet these people in the world are still playing games, because gas is still under $5. Because they can still go out and kick it with their boot thing on the weekend. Verse 19, "Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent to scourges for amendment." So all these things happening right now, they're as a warning sign for mainly our people. Or really, that's the only reason, because these heathen nations can't repent. It's only for Israel, so they can see that Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai is not playing, that he's about to make a great sword slaughter up on the planet Earth, where majority of the world is going to get put to death. The same power to kill the whole entire people during the time of Noah, except for Noah, and his family and children. These people don't think that same power that flooded the whole earth is going to make He's going to make great slaughter again, just like he did during the time of the flood. Like it says in Daniel chapter 12, a time like no other. This is verse 20. It says, but for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. So here, gas is going up $5. Groceries, people losing their jobs, layoffs, getting replaced by AI and automation. Jake thinks that, that's no big deal. This is gonna, we're at a rough period of time, and it's gonna, come and go, and then boom, we're gonna have a bounce back of the economy, and gas prices are gonna go back down. No, what these people don't understand, that this is not going to die down. It's only going to ramp up more and more and more and more till shit gets, it gets way too hectic. But yet, the 2/3 of our people, they're not meant to repent on this side. Verse 21, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. So right now, you're still able to go to McDonald's, get you a 20-piece chicken nugget. For $10, you're still able to pump gas for, $4 and some change. People think that, we're chilling. It ain't so bad. I can still go to the club and pop a bottle on the weekend. You can still eat, a McRib, Jake in the World, smoke cigarettes. So it's not so bad, but that's that piece of safety that these people are in, that Yahweh Bashim Shai wants them in, like it says in Isaiah 29. He poured out upon them the spirit of deep sleep. That's why all hell's breaking loose, but yet these people are still moving around the world like nothing's happening. And if they are, they're complaining about minute things. We're in it too, but yet these people are complaining when nothing really hasn't popped off like that yet. Verse 22, for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So like the scripture says, it's better to get put to death by the sword than to die of famine. A lot of people are going to die of famine, especially here in America, where these people are accustomed to eating 5 times a day, snacks in between, never fasted a day in their life, don't even know what a fast is. They got everything at the convenience, social media. These people are plugged into the matrix. That's why when Yahweh Bashim Shai shuts this thing down, he pulls the plug off the grid. There's blackouts. People are going to be crying out and really bugging out. It's going to be like in the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17 again, but at on steroids. These people are really about to feel it for being proud as all hell, thinking that Yahweh point. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory that's due to Shai, Bashals, and elders of great milestone. Peace and salutations to the 144th.